This episode is brought to you by the Regional Air Quality Council. Set the summer trend. This summer, ditch the work commute and work from home at least one day a week to reduce ground level ozone. You'll be helping the environment and you can stay in your pajamas. It's a win-win. Ozone is created from pollutants like car exhaust and is the Front Range's biggest air quality issue. Want to know which days it matters most? Sign up for summer ozone text alerts by sending Better Air CO to 21000. Or sign up for emails at the Simple Steps Better Air website. Learn more ways to help improve air quality on the Colorado Front Range at simplestepsbetterair.org. That's simplestepsbetterair.org. Today on CityCast Denver. Colfax. It's my favorite street in the city because somehow it's always changing, but always feels like Colfax. Even now, with all the construction for the new bus rapid transit line, it's still gritty, glamorous, and endlessly fascinating. We're celebrating everything Colfax at the Colfax Indie Bash this Thursday. So producer Paul Crowley and I asked friend of the show, Frank Locantore, who is executive director of the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District and one of our sponsors, to walk down East Colfax and talk about what's new and what's never going to change. Today is Monday, July 7th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Frank Locantore, welcome back to CityCast Denver.
So sweet to be back.
And Tanan Moore, welcome. Are we welcoming you back? I talk to you all the time. I can't remember if we're on mic. Okay, welcome back to CityCast Denver. You two both work for the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District. We are on Colfax right now. Before we get on a little trek, we're going to talk about the Colfax Indie Bash that we're a part of as well. What's going on?
So it's the best on Colfax. We are highlighting our businesses, our artists. We're going to be at Champagne Tiger. Drag queens are going to be entertaining us for the night. It's just one of Colfax Ave's best celebrations of the year. Of course, we'll be joined by you and Mayor Mike Johnston to have a great time and, celebrate all the amazing things that our Colfax businesses have to offer to us and just celebrate them in general, especially through BRT construction.
Which is kind of also why we're here today, to talk a lot about what's happening on Colfax, just a little bit behind the construction. There's still so much happening.
Right. Lift up the construction fence just a tad and you'll see a lot of fun.
Well, that's what we're going to go discover right now. Should we get started? Do we want to talk about Champagne Tiger?
Absolutely.
So again, that's where Colfax Indie Bash will be. Many folks will know it as Tom's Diner, Tom's Starlight, but it's been Champagne Tiger for a while, and they have this incredible patio. Can you tell us about the patio, Frank?
Sure. And I do enjoy that you said it's been Champagne Tiger for a while because it hasn't even been a year yet since they've opened up. Right. But
what is time?
As somebody said to me recently, time is a flat circle. But I think it also kind of speaks to partly there's always change going on Colfax, right? We're defined by nothing if not change. And I think that Champagne Tiger has also been a real big hit.
Yes.
So people have been enjoying it multiple times already, even in just the maybe 9 months that they've been open. But their patio is just next to us right now, behind the fence there.
It's very well hidden.
It's a nice hidden gem. You wouldn't know that it's there necessarily from the street. It used to be Tom's Diner's parking lot that they turned into this beautiful, respite. And they've got trees planted in there, beautiful seating in a patio space. And if you're coming to the July 10th event, you'll get to experience it in all its glory.
Yeah. What I love about it is it sort of harkens back to a Colfax I didn't get to experience when there were these moments of like glamour and nightlife in a different way. And I know when it was Tom's Starlight, it was like Palm Springs vibe. That's definitely what it is.
Right.
Like
yep.
It's a little secret glamour.
Yeah.
So, okay, where are we off to next?
Well, I think that we're going to there are more hidden patios, and we're going to be walking by them. So maybe we can just rattle them off, like Charlie's nightclub.
Sure.
For people that frequent Charlie's, it's not a surprise to hear that they've got a patio. But if you've only
You kind of don't know it's there.
yeah, even from either street, from either Emerson or Colfax, you would not see it. It's on the the non-Colfax side of the building. For those of us that get directions, that would be the south side.
Okay.
And it's really nice, really comfortable to be out there, like just partying at Charlie's in that patio. Pretty much across Colfax from Charlie's, you have a strip of shops right next to the Ogden Theater where Pita Hookah is. But it's also where the new women's sports bar, the 99ers, is.
Oh, that's where it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and and they're going gangbusters, Annie and Miranda over there. And their landlord is actually building out a patio behind their place.
Really?
That will hopefully in the next couple of months will be up for people to use. So that's going to be really cool too.
I mean, as a person that's been to the Ogden, I don't know, hundreds of times in my life, I never thought about the backside of that strip of buildings. That's amazing. They're going to get a patio in there.
Right. Well, it was more of a place where you just threw crap.
Sure.
Before.
Sure.
And now it's going to be a patio that people can use.
If I may, producer Paul here, also present on the walk. We're passing one of my favorite Colfax institutions, the
Good Times.
The Good Times. Frank, you know all the local business owners. Do you hear from them a lot? How are they doing?
I actually don't know how Good Times is doing. My suspicion is that they're probably, it's hard for me to say that any of the businesses are doing fine. It's relative, during the construction. But it's perhaps 90 degrees right now, and they have one hell of a shake. So there might be the ups and downs with the weather, but their fries are killer too, right? So maybe they're not so weather dependent on good business.
I would also just say, for being it's an institution in the sense that I've always gotten really great customer service at that Good Times. Doesn't matter time of day, and I'm sure they see a lot. Everyone that's ever helped me there has been super nice. Oh, man, it is.
We'll just
There's a
wait
lot going
for traffic
There's a
to
lot
cut
going
into the
on.
parking lot.
What about the businesses generally? Like, what is the very laytest that you've been hearing from folks about how it's like dealing with construction?
It varies. It's rough, right? Like, so let's just, the lead is it's rough. Capital construction projects can do that. And this is a doozy. So most of the businesses are experiencing a decline in revenue when compared to last year. There are a few, we're walking past one right now, Needs, and that's NEEDZ, that is actually doing quite well. So
Really?
Yeah. So
This is a sex shop? They sell like...
it's a men's boutique. And I can't describe it perfectly. So talking to Tim or Brian inside, they would be able to give you a better description. But I would call it like a men's clothing and costume boutique. And so it's like where I bought my pride flag, earlier this year.
I was going to say, it feels like a staple business of Colfax. That type of business has always been here and thrived here, I think.
Yeah, and they moved here from Broadway.
Yes, that's right.
A little over a year ago, I would say. And ever since, they've been, kicking butt.
That's great.
But to your question, Paul, I mean, the businesses are down. We're, my colleague Danon, who we heard a little bit earlier, is pounding the pavement pretty much every day, talking to the businesses and, and trying to help with ideas as well as activations, which is the kind of thing that we do to bring people out to the area.
So I think we're coming up on Where
Ooh.
what? Where
I know what you're going to talk about.
where the old Ramada was.
Yes, the blank space is where the old Smiley's was.
Oh, Smiley.
And then the building that appears fully constructed is where the old Ramada was.
So you were talking earlier to me off mic about this ghost alley phenomenon and they're disappearing. I don't even know what a ghost alley is. Can you explain what a ghost alley is?
And I think I may have I'm using that term because
Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah. So it's just another alley. Every block on Colfax is bisected by an alley.
Yes.
So we've got streets that are intersecting Colfax, and then we've got alleys that are doing the same kind of thing. And that's where all of our services are, trash and recycling, etc.
Sure. Load in, load out of whatever business you have right there.
Exactly. And I think it would be good for us to cross over in a couple of blocks to really see it. But what I call the ghost alley is it's another alley that is parallel to Colfax. So it goes east and west behind these buildings. So
interesting.
Back in the day, for the most part, right, way back in the day, these buildings weren't buildings, they were homes.
Sure.
And behind those homes, perhaps that's why they had these alleys. And who knows, maybe this was even before there were north-south alleys.
Oh.
But so this alley on the south side of Colfax that runs parallel to Colfax is still used, but it's not the primary service alley. And so therefore it's a ghost alley, in my terminology.
We're also just talking about a completely different size structure here now than maybe was here when, like you said, when it was homes. We're looking at a multi-story building.
This thing is humongous.
It's huge.
Right. So this 7-story building that we're seeing on the south side of Colfax is where the Ramada used to be. Mm-hmm. Before it was the Ramada, it was a single-family home. It might have been called Smith Mansion. And there are, I've seen photographs of it. So it was a mansion that took up a majority of the block and at some point was demolished. And I don't know if the Ramada... was the first thing that displaced that mansion.
There was definitely a hotel there before that.
Okay.
That was like the Denver. I love Denver. I love Colorado. It was very 50s looking. It was beautiful. I've only seen pictures of it, but so it was a hotel before that. But I mean, I just I can't even see that now. Looking at what's there now, it's so different.
Right.
It's so different.
Is someone going to say the name of the building?
What is the name of the building? Oh,
it's the Vixen.
What?
The Vixen.
Okay.
So this is the Vixen, and then where Smiley's was, that's going to be Route 40. I believe...
named for the original...
Colfax.
This is still Route 40, State Highway Route 40, that goes from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yes.
I remember them telling me the story about why choosing the Vixen, but they wanted to keep it pretty Colfax. I think it was more related to foxes. Isn't a Vixen?
The Vixen. Want to live at the Vixen.
I feel I can't remember if Vixen is what you call a group of foxes in the same way that you call a group of crows a murder. I'm not sure, but can
we get a fact check on that? Should I look that up? I'll look that up.
This is also just like that full evolution of change where
a female fox.
A female fox is the Vixen.
Where we're leaning into Colfax so much that we've branded it the thing that maybe 25 years ago people would not be so into it being.
Right.
Kind of like the axe throwing place. I always joke. I'm like, go back in time 20 years and tell me that there's an axe throwing place on Colfax. Like, well, there's a guy outside with an axe, a little different.
Where you can legally drink alcohol.
Yes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and the Vixen is pretty much, kind of catty corner from where Sid King's, cabaret used to be.
Very famous.
So I don't know what all the research that went into choosing the name.
Coming up on stage 1, the Vixen.
I love it.
Also, it looks like there's going to be a pool up here and a overlook on this first floor. So looking out over on the Colfax.
Is wild.
This looks like a great place to live.
Yeah. That balcony is a pool. Inside the doors from that balcony is where the fitness center is. And they've started leasing it. In fact, Danan's son and his girlfriend are going to be moving in there August 1st.
Oh my gosh.
So
This
yeah,
is, like,
so
blowing my
it's
mind.
pretty gorgeous inside, actually.
Yeah.
And in the middle, you can't see it from here, is a well, the garden is on the same level as the pool in
cool.
the middle. And so they've been putting in shrubs and everything and trees
I
where
love they
people can
preserve
go
the
out there.
trees right there too.
Yeah.
It looks great. That's crazy.
One bedroom, one bathroom, 541 square foot apartment will start at $1,702 per month at the Vixen.
Won't tell you what I paid when I lived off Colfax in 2002. That
So
place looks pretty
let's-
swank.
If we have a break in the traffic here to see the ghost alley,
Sure.
we'll get it. We can cut through here, but
'Kay.
let's see what these
This
cars
guy's
are doing
creeping right here. Okay.
Here. Okay, let's do it.
All right.
It's much easier to jaywalk now on Colfax, I find, now that 2 lanes are shut down to cars. Danan, you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know the where the term jaywalk came from?
Tell me.
No.
So it used to just be called walking across the street, but back in the 20s, when cars were trying to get their footing, there was a backlash from the community because there were a lot of people getting hit by cars and getting killed, and kids couldn't play in the street anymore.
You wouldn't believe it. People hated cars in the street. You wouldn't believe it.
Exactly. And so the auto industry started this massive advertising campaign to put a pejorative on people going into the street unauthorized.
Oh my gosh.
And Jay was a term you would say, that person is a country Jay, a country bumpkin,
Like an
type of thing. And so jaywalking was something that a bumpkin type of person would do in order to try to embarrass people from crossing the street in an quote unquote unauthorized manner.
First in many wins for the auto industry
Yeah.
against pedestrians. This episode is brought to you by Denver Botanic Gardens. On Saturday and Sunday, July 19th and 20th, the Lavender Festival is back at Denver Botanic Gardens, Chatfield Farms. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can enjoy over 2,000 lavender plants at Chatfield Farms Lavender Gardens. The festival is family-friendly and includes live music from local bands, artists with lavender wares for sale, food and drink, barrel train rides and lawn games, and so much more. You can go on a tour of the dye garden and check out weaving and spinning demonstrations, and meander along the walking trails and curated gardens at Chatfield Farms. Oh, that'll be good, actually. I don't think we have any lavender plants in our yard, but I should see, because Greg would maybe like to get some tips. We are learning different types of plants that can and cannot survive in our desert yard, so we'll see. Tickets must be purchased in advance, so get yours today at botanicgardens.org. That's botanicgardens.org. This episode is brought to you by MultiPass. Proudly based in Denver and deeply rooted in the local event and creative scene, MultiPass is an event ticketing platform that handles both ticket sales and memberships. So, say you run a yoga studio that puts on big events for the public, but also has a devoted member base that shows up for regular classes. MultiPass makes it easy to offer special pricing or perks for your members while charging a different rate to non-members, all automatically without needing promo codes or manual tracking. This not only helps you reward your most loyal guests, but also gives people a real reason to check out what your community has to offer and become a part of it. MultiPass is designed to help everyone in the event ecosystem win, not just the platform. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was running a DIY space right now and I could make a membership program so you could just pay for a membership and go to whatever show you want, it'd be genius. This is genius. I just get back into DIY show promoting, Olivia. Watch out. Learn more at multipass.com. That's multipass.com. This episode is brought to you by Cinema Q. Cinema Q is Colorado's only queer film festival. Put on by Denver Film, this 3-day event showcases a curated slate of the best new queer films, all premiering in Denver for the first time. Enjoy 10 brand new movies along with a collection of shorts, plus parties, special events, film panels, and a marketplace highlighting local queer vendors and artists. Cinema Q features romantic comedies, documentaries, horror, sci-fi, and retellings of classics, all through a queer lens. Grab your tickets for Cinema Q, running August 8th through the 10th at the Sea Film Center. This is a film festival of gay films, and if there's anywhere in the world I ever want to be, it's amongst queer folks watching movies about queer folks and queer stories and queer life. It's lovely. It's beautiful. For tickets, more info, and a full calendar of events, visit cinemaq.eventive.org/welcome or check the show notes for an easy link.
So here we are walking by the center.
Yeah, so the center on Colfax is on our left to the north. The Alta Court building where we office is on the right.
Gorgeous
building. And then we can get onto the sidewalk here.
Okay.
And not so hidden, but we're approaching another of one of the BRT arches, which is a pretty, fun new visual icon for the street that I'm sure soon will be one of those images that you see people with tattoos with an arch across their back.
Yep.
Or maybe not, but
you never know.
I'm still trying to talk Mayor Johnson into getting a back tattoo of the BRT arch, but we'll see. Maybe you can ask him about that at the July 10th.
We will. We'll definitely ask him.
Bree, how do you take these arches? You told me earlier today you hadn't seen one.
I have to say I'm getting used to them. I just did not really see them in the renderings in front of some of the older buildings. But I'm conflicted, I have to say. I kind of like them, but also it's that big change that we're all afraid of, right?
Right.
It is a big change. Let me describe it in case people haven't seen it. These are in like a concrete island now there's some dudes in vests building. They've taken out the lane of the street, and there's going to be a dedicated bus lane. And so these arches are sort of like they're in the middle of what was the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're exactly. And so what we see as we get closer to it, we're going to see the half wall, the waist-high wall. That's basically the splash wall, the protection wall, because cars will be traveling in this lane going east. To their left, where the arch is, that's the platform where people will be standing waiting to get onto the bus that will be pulling up there. And there's a canopy which we'll see more clearly in just a moment, that they can be getting shade or shelter from the elements there. So they'll be waiting there. So all the bus stops that were on the sidewalk, we're now going to have more space on the sidewalk for patios or whatever.
Cool.
And the people waiting for the buses will be on the safe platforms in the middle of the street.
Wow.
And the canopies are going to be decorated by local artists. So
That's right.
we'll see as we get closer when we're able to kind of look underneath them better. But you'll see the triangles of how
That's where the art
translucent art is going to be.
Cool.
So the sunlight will be coming through them.
Cool. All right. Should we walk towards them?
I feel like this is another point where I want to talk about the businesses, because I've heard from some of the businesses that are right next to these arches where the construction is kind of most acute.
Yeah.
They're feeling most affected. But are you hearing also from them that they feel like there's the most potential in the long term, since people will be congregating at these stops?
Yeah, and I don't know how the noise is in the background here.
It's deafening, but let's keep
move
going.
past it.
Yeah. So I think you're exactly right, Paul. So in the near term right now, this is the most intense area of construction where the actual stations are going to be and these platforms are, for pretty obvious reasons. But as you say, once the construction is complete, this is the area on both sides of the street where people are going to be walking onto the platform to catch the bus or coming off the platform to catch the bus. So what we've been talking to the businesses about is think about all the think about all of the senses somebody has and appeal to them with your products. And one example is a movie theater. Like for a person like me, I have a hard time walking into a movie theater to see a show and not buying popcorn, right? The smell of the popcorn, I'm going to buy popcorn. So what is that equivalent to your business? Do you have aromas from baking bread or voodoo donuts?
Donuts right there.
Right? that you can have that can indicate to somebody who is running to catch the bus in the morning, going like, oh, on the way home, I'm going to get that loaf of bread before I go home, or those donuts, or the pizza, or whatever. So
I was like, or the late night hangout, which Voodoo already is because they're open late.
The late
and
night
there's
hangout.
public transit right there.
Or the Pride Parade when it comes back
Totally.
to these are going to be the go-go dancing places
Yes.
during the parade, right?
Oh,
You
I
can
love
totally
it.
see people partying
Oh, yeah.
on the platforms.
I love it.
Yeah.
The vision really is clear. Once you get on the street and start walking, you can see in the future, this is like, you feel like it's going to work.
Exactly. And so our job that, Danon is kicking butt on is like, we want the businesses to enjoy what's coming in that vision, and they've got to survive
Yeah.
in order to enjoy
The
it.
interim is the tough
So
part.
that's our goal right now. And we're going to need to cross over
Okay.
to the other side of Colfax because they're in front of us. They're planting trees.
This is awesome. Ugh, I love this block. Oh, it's hot.
Yeah. Can't wait till we get more trees.
Seriously.
Because of BRT.
We're coming up on Pete's Kitchen and the Satire.
Yes.
Alex Baracus, the grandson, owns these places now. They got a little patio between them.
They do. I was from this side of the street. I was going to point it out because they've done some really nice improvements to it as well. It's just another example of how you can have nice things if you're not only worried about parking, because it also used to be a parking lot.
Yes.
So during the pandemic, Alex and his team at the Pete's Empire used that area of the parking lot between Pete's Kitchen and Pete's Satire as the outdoor space to give people distance during the pandemic. And people, surprise, surprise,
Loved it.
people like being outside in Colorado. And so they've been working to keep it and improve it. And so that fence that you see over there
Yeah.
now is a new addition. They've got the sails
Some
for the
shade, yeah.
canopies for shade. And they've got artificial turf down where the asphalt is.
Looks great.
Yeah, so much nicer.
Wouldn't even know it was a parking lot. Looks
Exactly.
amazing.
And then we're about to pass Illegal Pete's, and they've still got a patio on the north side of the building, but on their east side, that used to be the driveway to get into the parking lot.
That's
And they
right.
turned this driveway, and there were parking spots there too. They turned that into a patio.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
It just looks like so natural to the building and everything.
Right.
That's great. It's a great patio. Misters, Paul.
Pretty
They got
sweet misters. should we pause and hit these misters?
Oh my God.
Get a little cool.
Can we go in here? I don't know if we can.
It's possible for either.
Oh my God.
It's just, how do you have a patio and not put mist? I mean, they're probably very expensive is why. What is this store? This is new to me.
My sneakers
Division
come
West.
from this store.
I feel like they used to be in Cherry Creek or
they,
Franklin.
they did. I don't know if this is another one, but John used to work at the one in Cherry Creek,
Okay.
and he opened this up. He might be celebrating his third anniversary,
That's
or
awesome.
certainly his second anniversary. Good stuff.
This is cool stuff.
Exactly.
Can I peek in here real quick?
Yeah, maybe John's here. We could say hi. This is
Peek in real quick.
this like a local designer or like a vintage thing?
Hey, John.
Frank, how are you?
Good. Would you like to talk to some CityCast folks?
Hi, John.
Hi.
We're doing a podcast with Frank. It's called CityCast Denver. We're just talking to people about Colfax and what's new, and
Yeah.
your storefront caught our eye.
Okay.
Also, those are
awesome.
some pretty cool sunglasses, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. They're Oakleys.
This is
It's
a
just
beautiful store.
Started painting them, so I made them a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tied this on too.
That's awesome. This is so great.
How long you been here?
2 years.
How's business?
Good. I have a niche customer too, so I ship out a lot of stuff, but I can't complain. Colfax. I live 8 blocks that way, so across from the what is it, Crazy Horse now?
Yep. You just walk behind your hidden alley.
Oh yeah,
First alley, as I call
the
it.
small little one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I picked here.
Nice.
Colfax has the attitude. Yeah.
So this niche customer you have, maybe some of them listen to the podcast. They don't know about your shop yet. Who is this person?
Any age, really. Just someone that wants shoes that serve the purpose that they're looking for, but a little bit of different twist. So like Solomon, Merrell 1TRL is their fashion forward line. So I have like some outdoor adjacent stuff, and then New Balance, Adidas, some more streetwear stuff that would be in the room right over here. So just kind of like individualist, someone that, isn't quite sure of their style yet, or like stuff that other people wouldn't be wearing.
Do you have a store in Cherry Creek?
It used to be in Cherry Creek.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I think.
So they closed down, and
Okay.
then the old owner transferred everything over to me.
Okay.
So when I opened this, that's when it reopened. Yep.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's
You
a
hear that,
beautiful
Cherry
store.
Creek? You're
People
on
are moving
notice.
out
It's
of
easier
Cherry
to park
Creek?
here.
Good point.
Thanks for your time, John.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. This is great.
Y'all have a good day.
Beautiful store.
Congrats on the 2 years. That's
I
awesome.
got to bring my husband in here. He
This
would
place
love that
is
place.
this
Oh
is
my
amazing
gosh.
stuff.
I gotta come in for another.
Just want to look at every single one of these.
Yeah, I have a friend that's like a sneakerhead that worked at the one in Cherry Creek just so he could get cool shoes.
I didn't know those like Merrell. I didn't know they did like more fashionable lines
I
of.
feel like they just started doing that in the last few years when they realized there is a big customer base for that.
Yeah, Denverites.
For sure.
And then there's another new business across the street.
I was gonna ask
Frank,
you guys about
there
that.
The owner had a great quote. This is the old Choice Market, which was a local chain of convenience stores that went under. And there's a new place here called Wyman's, and the owner was like, "We want to have things that kids from East High School can afford." What did you think about that, Frank?
Love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's smart business, right? The challenge is that prices are just going. The cost of the materials to make things, food, the cost of eggs, the cost of labor is going up. So it just becomes a greater and greater challenge for these businesses to have something that high school students can afford. But the fact that the owner is making that part of the
Yes.
business plan, right, is a way to at least try to address those different challenges.
Well, it's also just like I went to George Washington High School, and every business around our school was like no backpacks, it was like very no students.
Right.
So the fact that we had money to spend on our lunch break and stuff, and like that's awesome that he realized like that's a viable customer.
Yeah. I mean, you're so close
That's so
to
cool.
East High.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Oh, that's awesome.
We wish him a lot of luck.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go support him now. I love that.
we can walk back a straight shot on the north side of the street. If we walk, we can also walk on the south side of the street, but at some point we'll need to cross over. So
Sure.
I don't know if you want to see things on this side or you just want to like head back.
Let's final statement, final comment, sum up moment.
I mean, to me, we've just been talking about the construction nonstop, and then the sad narrative about the businesses. But when you come down here and you actually like walk into the storefronts and talk to people and get a drink, there's still so much happening, just like regular any other day on Colfax. So like, just get over it. Kind of like it's just changed my perspective about this whole project. It's like it's still accessible. You just have to navigate a little bit some tougher streets, but it's fine.
The news is an aspect of our community,
Sure.
right? We can't take it all as everything, as the only thing or 100% of what's going on, right? It's a portion. The construction is a big thing that's happening right
Sure.
now. Is it disruptive to the businesses? Absolutely.
Yes.
is it the only thing that is going on? No, these businesses are open. Like I said, the number of stores occupied before the construction is the same number of stores occupied today. The thing is like, can we help people find the way to access them? Yeah. It is open. You can still make it here. There is actually plenty of if you're willing to walk a block, that's all you're going to have to do. You can park, walk a block, and you can also take the bus, and you can make it to your favorite business. And if that business is a bar, you don't have to worry about driving home.
And there's a lot of bars to choose from. So
there are.
Well, Frank, this was so fun. I always appreciate your perspective as we walk down the street, because I know the street so well, and I always learn something different every time we talk to you.
There's a lot to absorb on this street, and we only did like 20 blocks.
I know.
You know?
That's it. It was lovely. Well, thanks, Frank.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell a friend about the Colfax Indie Bash this Thursday? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. And hey, thanks to our new neighbors Jacqueline W. and Tony H., who just joined our membership program. You can join now too at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later. Oh, no, we won't. Will we? Oh, yeah, we will. This is Monday. You're right. This is Monday. Sorry, let me do that again.